Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypherbox bringing you the latest in boxing news, and basically what I want to talk about is Deontay Wilder on his Instagram page right now, and I want to talk about a subject that I'm hearing a lot of in videos where people are actually blaming Deontay Wilder for these guys, these opponents of his, failing their drug tests, their valid testing, and getting caught for using banned substances, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Now I'm just going to bring up this last post from Deontay Wilder on his Instagram page, and it says here, "Welcome to boxing where the cheaters get a pass and the clean get bashed." And he's referring to what I actually just said. Basically, I'm hearing in a lot of videos Deontay Wilder getting the blame for these situations occurring. In his last few fights he's had, as you can see, he's put up these opponents of his that have tested positive for banned substances, and Deontay Wilder's getting the blame for it, which I don't understand. Because what you're telling me, that Deontay Wilder is sending his minions out there to these guys' training camps and spiking their drinks and their food so they consume banned substances, and he can then call the fight off and not have to step into a ring with them? Because if that's what you're saying, then that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Yeah, you cannot blame Deontay Wilder for these guys failing their VADA testing. I saw one video the other day, I'm not going to name the channel, but the host of that channel actually turned around and said, "I'm not blaming Deontay Wilder for this, but I find it quite funny that this keeps happening to Deontay Wilder. Whenever he gets a big fight, they test positive for drugs. I just think that, it's more than a coincidence." It doesn't make sense what you're saying, mate. It doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, because he has no control over these guys and what they're doing behind the scenes. Now let's talk about some of these guys. Let's talk about POVETKIN for starters. Yeah, Deontay Wilder was due, before Deontay Wilder faced POVETKIN, I believe POVETKIN failed a drug test before then. They said it was traces, etc. It was just recently banned. I can't remember the name of the banned substance. Obviously it was on the back of it was added to the list on the back of a female tennis player using it, which basically, when you take it, it basically turns you into the Duracell bunny. You can go on and on and on. Do you know what I mean? Unlimited amount of energy, and do you know what I mean? So that's what POVETKIN was using. Now apparently when he was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder, again he tested positive for a banned substance, and rightfully so. Deontay Wilder pulled out and said, "I'm not fighting him. If he's tested positive for a drug, for a banned substance, why am I going to get in the ring with him? I'm not fighting him." And he flew back to the US. Okay, POVETKIN then moves on. WBC gave him a pass, I believe, if I remember right. He then set up for a WBC title elimination fight, because the WBC felt they cocked that whole situation up with Wilder, and gave him a title elimination fight against Bermane Stiverne. He tested positive again, and Bermane Stiverne refused to fight him. So how is that Deontay Wilder's fault? I don't understand. Clearly he's a cheat. He takes performance enhancing drugs. He's been caught 3 times. Rightfully so. I think currently he's on a ban. So how is that Deontay Wilder's fault? It doesn't make sense what you're saying. That's POVETKIN's fault. Yeah, that's POVETKIN and his team's fault. Right? Now, if we look right to the far left, I can never remember this guy's name, but he was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder next. He tested positive for a banned substance. That's why Jared Washington was brought in. I think it was 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks before, with 4 weeks notice. Again, how's that Deontay Wilder's fault if he's tested positive, this guy here? And now we go right to the far right. Recently, in the last couple of days, Luis Ortiz, who has failed in the past you know, drug tests, and he's failed, you know, he's tested positive, for banned substances in the past, and now he's, you know, again tested positive for a banned substance, not a performance enhancing drug this time round, but for a masking agent, the blood pressure medication we're referring to, which you can use to mask performance enhancing drugs. He's failed again, and from what I hear, I thought it was just once, you know, he failed before this, but from what Dillian Whyte and, you know, Brian Jennings are saying, is that this is now the third occasion. This recent one is the third occasion where he's failed a test, you know, for a banned substance. So again, how's that this man here, how's that his fault? Sorry, I think it's just really ridiculous. I think the hate for Deontay Wilder, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Deontay Wilder's the greatest fighter in the world. Yeah? I don't think he is, you know, the most technically sound fighter in the world, boxer in the world. Like I've said before, it's that right hand of his. If it lands, man, you're in trouble. You know, you better have a tough jaw on you. You better have a cast iron jaw on you, because if he lands, 9 times out of 10 he knocks out his opponent and stops his opponents. So, but to turn around and say, you know, I know people don't like him and people criticise his resume. Now, if I was to compare it to, for example, Anthony Joshua, let me see if I can bring it up. Hold on a sec. So, let's bring on. Sorry, bear with me a second. Box rec. Anthony Joshua. Right, there he is. If we go down. Yeah, and I'm going to bring up Deontay Wilder's box recs as well while I'm at it. Like I said, bear with me. Sorry, just bear with me a sec, guys. Because I just thought of this now. Alright, there we go. We've got their box recs up now. These. Alright, if you look down that list of Anthony Joshua's opponents, yeah? Who stands out massively for you? Alright, Dillian Whyte, maybe, you know, at a domestic level. Charles Martin was a joke. Dominic Brazil, not great. Eric Molina, not great. And then Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah? And let's look at Deontay Wilder now. He's fought Eric Molina as well. Spilker, Chris Arreola, Washington, Bermain Stavern, Malik Scott. You know, if you go as he was coming up, he obviously had certain fights, you know, Audley Harrison and stuff like that. But when you compare the two records, yeah, when you look at it, Anthony Joshua probably has a better record just because of this name right here that I've highlighted with my cursor, Vladimir Klitschko. And then his other biggest name opponent, or his toughest opponent before that, was this guy, Dillian Whyte. You know, other than that, there's no one on his record, in my opinion, that stands out. Now, I'm not knocking Anthony Joshua. I like Anthony Joshua, yeah, and I think he's got the potential to be the best heavyweight on the planet and become the undisputed champion. And if I was to pick between him and Wilder, I would pick Anthony Joshua, because I think Anthony Joshua's got the better skill sets. How Anthony Joshua handles Wilder's power, because that right hand will land at some point if they should ever meet in the ring. How he handled that is a different question altogether. That'll be interesting to see as well. But I think, in my opinion, if I was to pick, I would pick Joshua to win because he has the better skill set. So I'm not bashing Anthony Joshua. I'm just trying to compare where people are hating Deontay Wilder so much. You know, he's had more fights than Anthony Joshua, but in terms of the caliber of opponents on their resumes, they're not too far off each other in terms of who they fought. So I don't understand where all this bum squad business comes from as well. You know, like I said, I'm always going to keep it real. I'm always going to be impartial. That's the whole point. That's why I call my channel Keep It Real Boxing. And exactly what I'm going to do. I know a lot of people are going to start jumping on here and trying to defend Anthony Joshua's record over Deontay Wilder and vice versa. But I keep flipping between it and I don't see anyone on there, apart from Vladimir Klitschko, on Anthony Joshua's record card, and maybe Dillian White, but definitely Vladimir Klitschko, that probably stands out. You know, and obviously this was supposed to be, right here, Luis Ortiz was supposed to be Wilder's biggest fight to date. So again, I don't understand where all this hatred and all this negativity around Deontay Wilder comes. You know, alright, he's not the most, you know, neatest boxer. I find him to be quite, well, Wilder by name, Wilder by nature, right? When he fights and he knows he's got his opponent, he starts going crazy with these wild haymaking punches. You know, if he learnt a little bit of control, and a little bit of finesse, he'll probably get his opponents out of there a little bit more convincingly, and you know, wouldn't have an issue where he's, you know, having these technical problems in the ring when he's trying to knock out his opponent. You know, sometimes he whacks them and sometimes he's hitting the side of their heads. You know, it's messy to watch. But again, I don't see how people are blaming him. I don't understand why people dislike Deontay Wilder so much, and they say that he hasn't fought anyone and etc and etc etc. But then when I compare it to Anthony Joshua's record, you know, the only difference really there is this name here. That's what I see right there. Vladimir Klitschko is the only one that stands out for me. If you look down it, Molina, Brazil, Martin was rubbish, absolute rubbish. Do you know what I mean? He just came for a payday, that guy there. You know, he didn't even deserve that IBF belt in my opinion. So why are we, you know, what are we talking about here? Dillian White gave a good fight to AJ, no doubt. Kevin Johnson, way past his prime. Another guy looking for a payday in my opinion. Gary Cornish, domestic level fighter. All these other guys were just, you know, stepping stones right here. You know, him practicing and learning his craft and stuff like that, which you would expect with any fighter. Same with Deontay Wilder, if you look at it. You know, same as you look at his as he's going up. You know, he's fought Eric Molina and stuff like that, Chris Arreola, Spilka. You know, again, I don't understand it personally. I know a lot of people are going to jump on this video and comment and make ridiculous comments and probably slag me off big time, but I really don't care, because in the end of the day, the truth is the truth. Yeah, this isn't Deontay Wilder's fault, all of this that's happened here. Sorry, I think that's ridiculous to blame him. You know, it's not his fault. End of the day, these guys have chosen themselves to take performance enhancing drugs or banned substances, masking agents, and they're the ones who have ruined these fights. Not this man down here. These guys up here. Yet people are quick to defend these sorts of individuals and then bash the guy down here who's clearly, every time he gets tested, comes up clean. It doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, I'm going to keep it real with you. Don't care if people don't like what I'm saying, but the truth is the truth. And as for this, all this talk of bum squad and all that sort of stuff needs to stop. You know, Anthony Joshua still needs to fight some top caliber opponents himself. He's fought one in Vladimir Klitschko. You know, I don't think Pulov's in the same league as Anthony Joshua. I think he wins that fight in maybe 3 or 4 rounds. He'll knock him out. So this is the only real test he had against a 41-year-old Vladimir Klitschko. You know, and he was 41 as well. Let's not forget that, at the end of his career, not in his prime. So again, I don't understand it where it all comes from. That's my opinion on this matter. Comment if you like, but end of the day, you're not going to change my point of view as far as I'm concerned. And that's all I got to say about that. So until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it real.